Hello, my name is Tania Morgan, and I'm going to talk to you about the miscommunication of interculture communications. I have two scenarios that I will talk to you about. I have also written out a platform of what I'm going to tell you. During lunch hour in America office, there are four diverse males sharing a large office. One of the men, James, who is Chinese, has a personal call in China. As the co-workers eat their lunch, James is taking a phone call. The co-workers notice that James is repeating a word that sounds a lot like the English word, which is the N word. Once James finishes the phone call, his coworkers question him why he said that negative N word over and over again so proudly. James was so confused at his colleagues about what they were talking about. He did not understand why his coworkers, what word his coworkers were referring to. Because there is no Chinese word, an American word, that could be translated into American. The word that the Chinese man James was using cannot be translated in English. The closest word that could be closest to understanding would be or aha. James informed the colleagues that he was not saying the N-word at all. He did the best he could to explain what word he was saying, because it cannot be translated. A strategy that could have been used would be providing, by researching all the negative words in English that sounds like a native word in the Chinese language, and possibly practicing using other words in that Chinese language that may sound like the word that they are trying to use. Another strategy could be by changing the location of your conversation. If James was able to move into another room away from his colleagues and into a private room, he would have been able to prevent this from happening. The next video will be a group of diverse teachers from different countries teaching in China decide to go out to dinner after a great workday. The team of teachers picked Catherine as a team leader for the text group because of her great organization. Catherine is African American, and she created the text group so they can discuss when and where. All the teachers sound positive and happy about the meetup, until one of the teachers left the group without giving a notice. Catherine sent a private text message to ask that teacher, Melissa, who is Caucasian, African, South African. To ask her why she was not coming to dinner. Melissa texts back a sharp no. Catherine was offended by this. She texted her back a long message, wondering if she had hurt her feelings. So, and that she was offended as well. So she texts that to Melissa. Melissa replied back to her, saying that she did not get her feelings hurt, and that in her culture, sending long messages are shown as rude, and that if they do feel like they have something lengthy to say, they would call or speak to them directly. In this situation, both parties were offended due to culture versus American culture and South American culture, and both of them were living and working in China at the time. Strategy 1. It would not be a good idea to send a private text message to Melissa because she left the group. If she left the group on their own, maybe she had other plans. Strategy 2. It is hard to research a set culture when you have so many countries at the same time, to research all the countries at the same time, when you have so many of them in one setting. But if you do try to send a private text message, and Melissa did say no, it's best to send back, "Okay, have a good weekend." I would not send back a text saying thanks or thank you, because you do not know how they may react to those words because of the different culture setting. With that said, with their living in China and Catherine being American and Melissa being South African, less is always best.